What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back with another video, and we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark and her WNBA debut. So, I think I was pretty much accurate, and I think a lot of people got to, have to owe an apology because I think it's pretty owed. People need to owe Diana Taurasi an apology because she's the one who said that it was going to be tough. It's not going to just be an easy transition, and she's just dropping threes on everybody's head, and how she's just going to be this immediate star like that. I had a feeling this would happen, and I I kind of knew it was going to happen because there's just no way she was going to be able to do this uh, to a high level in her first game. Like, this is her first game, so take everything I say as a grain of salt as well. Because just because I'm saying all this stuff does not mean that she's going to be a great player later in her career. I just think that right now her supporting cast wasn't good, and her first game was not good. When you turn over the ball 10 times, you are not going to win that game. And I feel like you can say that about a lot of people. And the whole team had 25, turnovers as it is. So obviously they need to fix that. I felt like she also started way too early, or started way too late. I think if she didn't get fouled, those two fouls early in the game, maybe there's a different question on whether or not she would have gotten the points. I think that really hurt her by getting 0 in the first. It was just slow. As the game went on, though, you did feel the confidence of her growing, and I think that that's what she's going to need to bring every week. But the poor girl couldn't get any separation. They were on her a lot, and she didn't get any help. I know she only has 3 assists, but let's cool it down on that. I think she easily could have had maybe an 8 by the end of that game. She had so many good passes that just were not landing. None of her teammates were landing shots. Bad turnovers from everyone. I think Boston, I said this last year, I feel like Boston still has a lot to learn. I mean, I don't think I've ever met somebody, every time I watch a Fever game, she travels in the paint every time because she does an extra bounce, and then she has the extra fake, and then she takes a step. She needs to figure out how to get that taken care of. But Clark, I will be giving her the benefit of the doubt. I think still getting the most points of your team is awesome. I think that at the end of the day, she should be proud of what she did. I think that she did an amazing job with what she had. This league's tough. I mean, there's not many teams, and every team is pretty much competitive, and any team can be competitive on every given day. I mean, when you look at how dominant some teams are, like the 2 most dominant teams last year, New York and the Aces, both struggled in their first game. Towards the end of the game, they both figured it out. But, any game could be a big change. Everything that happens in the game could affect it. And I think that she needs to, biggest things coming out of college for Caitlin, for me, every time I watched a Caitlin Clark game, she turned over the ball a lot. And that has already happened here. She takes weird / bad shots. I think that, you kind of saw it towards the end of this game, although I can give her, I understand if your team's down by, 15, you're hoping just to get a 3 to get these, get the crowd live. But, there was times in the national championship games where I felt like they were getting momentum, they were gaining momentum, and then she just decides to go for, a half-court 3 and then misses, and then the momentum goes right back to the other team. You can't do that. You have to be able to create offense. And yes, I understand that your biggest game is 3, but I think she needs to utilize the, hey, you could go for 2. And I think she did that later in the game. You saw her start heating up. She went for 2. The biggest thing I've always had with her is that she does bitch way too much. And I mean, everybody does. I understand, there's a foul, blah, blah, blah. I think at the end of the day, she screwed herself up by just complaining a little too much. And I don't think that is necessarily going to be a terrible thing for her. I think that obviously she's going to get calls her way eventually, but even the biggest stars right now don't get all these calls. Think about A'ja Wilson. Was very frustrated with some of the calls she wasn't getting. A lot of the Aces players were, and most of them are big stars. So it's it doesn't matter if you're a big star or not. Sometimes they're just not going to call it. She just gets frustrated too easy, and I don't know if that's just the competitive nature, and I don't know what it is, but she does bitch way too much, and she needs to stop. And she just needs to be able to talk to the ref, place her case with the referee, and say, I disagree with you, and that is it. Because towards the end of the first half, going into halftime, she's basically yelling at this referee that they missed it, and her teammates were getting in her way to make sure that there wasn't going to be anything crazy. She needs to learn to just sit down and be quiet, because you can't bitch about every single call, because in my opinion you have to use that reverse effect. Are you thinking that you complaining is going to make them keep a better attention on you? I think it does the polar opposite, and I think every time they see something that could be called, they think that it might be something light. You have to be able to just keep your cool and play fucking basketball. It's what you do. It's what you do best. So just, in my opinion, just shut up and stop bitching so much. And I mean that in a respectful way, because I think that really does kill her game and kill the momentum of the team. Get your ass back on defense and stop bitching, because if you continue to argue with the ref, congratulations, there's a 4-on-5 going the other way, and now they're dropping threes on you. So this team, and like I said, it wasn't just bad, like some very simple things. If you could find ways to give Caitlin, a better way of just getting open and getting shots off, that will help her game a lot. If she could stop turning over the ball, she needs to just focus on her game and stop complaining. Those are just some of the biggest things that I've seen so far. I mean, and the only thing that her teammates need to work on is just scoring and helping her out, because obviously, like that, her stat line would have been ridiculous. I really do think that she could have had, potentially, if she didn't get those 2 fouls early, and if she were to get some fouls, she could have probably had close to almost 30 points. I'd probably say about 27 at least. And she probably could have had about 6-7 assists. But like a lot of her teammates just weren't helping. Like I said, the turnovers were ridiculous in this whole entire game. So let me know your guys' opinions. I'm really interested in what you guys thought about Caitlin Clark's debut. I think it was pretty. If I had to grade it, I would probably say a B-. I liked the things I saw from her game, that when she was even getting pressured. I hated a lot of it, though. So honestly, you could argue just a C. The team really didn't play good around her, so I don't want to blame her on that, because if I'm going to be calling it on one player, I'm not going to be calling it on the entire team, So that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys think, and your opinions on it. Do you think Caitlin needs to fix these things? Do you think she just needs to continue to play her game? I think that I think she still, the ceiling is high, and I think that she has a great opportunity to be a big star. But if her team doesn't help her, and she doesn't help herself just by fixing the simple things, her first year is going to be rough. So let me know what you guys think. Like this video if you'd like to. Comment down below. Curious on your opinions. Dominate the world, Dominators, because David Dominator is out. Follow me and everything. Make sure you guys keep an eye on Twitch, because sometimes I do live streams and I react to games, watch along games, and have great discussions, and don't miss out on those. So have a good night. Peace.